What's up, guys? Gun Cannon here with some more news from the American Hockey League. Thank you guys again for coming out and watching the video. If you do like what you're seeing, I'm going to be doing at least one AHL news a week. If you like it, definitely hit that like button down there. Helps me out a lot. Hit the subscribe button too. But with that, let's get into some news. Alright, so we're going to start out with adding a little bit of news on from some things that I reported last week about teams moving, new teams coming in. And the team that I was asked about was, how come he didn't say anything about Springfield and them getting a team? Well, the reason is I want to do a little research on it because there were some things that were added in with it, and this is what I found, and we're going to start this off by going to Portland, Maine. You're probably wondering why. Well, this summer's actually been a real downright horrible summer for the folks in Portland when it comes to hockey. There could be some light at the end of the tunnel, though, with all of this. In May of this year, it was actually announced the Portland Pirates, would be leaving their home of 23 seasons to pick up play in Springfield, where they would become the Springfield Thunderbirds. This is after the original team in Springfield, which was the Falcons, were purchased by the Arizona Coyotes and moved to Tucson, where they became the Roadrunners, and they'll begin their play in 2016-2017. Now, the move didn't come without some surprise. Pirates have played in Portland since the fall of '93, after they actually moved the team from Baltimore when they were the Skipjacks. That first season, they won the AHL's Calder Cup. They've struggled with attendance over the past two seasons. They were actually 30th in 2014, 2015, and 29th in 2015 and 2016. Surprisingly enough, Springfield had the AHL's worst attendance that winter. Now, the Pirates were only into the second year of a 5-year lease with the Cross Insurance Arena. There have been a lot of things going on with arenas up there. I guess there was renovations going on. Now, the announcement seemed to rock everybody there. One season ticket holder was actually stated as he was going in to collect a jersey that he had won from a raffle and pick up his season tickets, and he was told within a few minutes of entering the arena the team had been sold to Springfield. And as he left, he had to unlock the door to the arena, which was promptly locked right afterwards. Players and staff were caught off guard on this as well. It was literally within hours of when Brad Church, a former Pirates player, and the chief operating officer stated that he had no details on a sale, and then it was a complete 180 a couple hours later. Sold the team. But in the same respect to that, reports in June had come out that the Pirates and the officials at the arena were at a $45,000 difference between keeping that team in Portland. This was after the press reported that in emails obtained through the Freedom of Access Act. But it may not be the end of Portland hockey, as there's reports going out now that former team president W. Godfrey Wood and Brad Church are announcing that they're building a team of investors to bring the ECHL into Portland. So they're trying to get a team for that. So we send our best to you guys. I really hope that you guys get a team. Let's just hope and see where it goes for those guys up in Portland. And as far as for Springfield, congrats on that team. Now, my thoughts on it, it does suck. It's bad. I mean, I've got more on that as we go too, but I really hope that you guys can land a team, if it is ECHL, or if you do find an AHL team. Portland has always been in the league for a very long time, 23 seasons, holy crap. But I hope the best for you guys, and hope to see you field the team out there. Now, we're also going to kind of delve back in on the Binghamton Senators and the reported rumor of them moving as well. I know, you guys are probably like, well, you live in Binghamton, that's why I'm going to talk about it. Well, one, yes, and two, I wanted to kind of get a little more in depth into it because there was a little more to it. So, like I said, as I reported last week, the rumor mill for teams seemed to land on Binghamton as Baby Sens may be, again, it's reported, moving to Belleville, Ontario after the 2016-2017 campaign. But the question is why? And if the AHL is looking to replace them in Binghamton, who? Now, let's kind of get a little background information, and let's talk about Belleville. Their history actually starts back in '82 as the Belleville Bulls of the Ontario Hockey League, and the team ran until 2014-2015, where Michael Andlauer announced that he had purchased the Bulls, and that they'd be moving to Hamilton's First Ontario Centre to become the Hamilton Bulldogs. Due to the Hamilton Bulldogs AHL affiliation was sold to the Canadians and moved it to St. John's, Newfoundland, for the 2015-2016 season as the St. John's Ice Caps, as the Ice Caps had lost their affiliation to with Winnipeg at the time. So there was a lot of moving around there. Now, the move left a really sour taste in Belleville's mouth afterwards, and they were searching for teams since, or they have been. This leads to kind of a miscue from Tasso Christopher, Belleville's mayor. Christopher kind of jumped the gun a little bit and hinted at an announcement before the AHL execs, who ultimately kind of controlled that aspect, that Broome County was going to be searching for a new affiliation. But for Belleville to even be looked at, they've got some hurdles they got to clear. The Yardman Arena, where the supposed team would be playing, needs a lot of upgrades to even meet with the requirements of an AHL team. More than $7 million alone in repairing the boards, the floor, and the refrigeration system. Adding into that the seats at the Yardman, there's only about 3,200 seats. That's actually less than the Utica Auditorium, which is currently the smallest seating capacity in the AHL, and would cost the region about $20 million over time to kind of address that issue, including the seats. So suffice to say, there's still some things that Belleville needs to address before the AHL will even begin their process there. But that doesn't seem to stop those guys. They're kind of setting up a contract, or they're writing a contract with provisions to either give them municipality of some sort or stakeholders' interest or equity in the team, but doesn't necessarily carry the weight of responsibility of ownership. This could provide them some kind of security that the team won't move on a whim, keeping what happened with the Bulls from happening to them again. Now, as far as to with Binghamton, the Sens still have a contract with Ottawa until the 2018-2019 season, with the reports of a replacement from the AHL are saying that if Ottawa does move, Binghamton's, we're not new to this. We're not new to the game of teams leaving. We actually, Binghamton has held the top affiliate for the Hartford Whalers until 1990, when the Rangers actually moved in. And they were there until they moved their affiliation to Hartford in 97. From then until about 2002, the Floyd L. Mains Arena was actually home to the BC Icemen of the UHL until the Sens moved in, bringing the AHL back to 2002. Now, we've got this background on it. Now, the questions again were why? Why would they move the team? Well, it's something that's happening a lot now in the American Hockey League, where teams are starting to move their minor league teams closer, making it easier for them to transition players or transfer players back and forth. The exodus of teams to the West Coast over the last year or so is a good example of that. An even better example is St. John's losing their affiliation, surprisingly enough, coming back to the story, losing their affiliation to Montreal to Laval, which is not very far from them at all. So that's something that's big that teams are doing now, so that they can manage their players a lot easier. Now, that's the why. Now, again, like I said, they had said that there'd be a replacement team for the AHL. The question would be then, who would we be affiliated with? Who would they be affiliated with? There are two names that keep coming up, one of which is the Rangers again. The Rangers are currently on their last season with the Hartford Wolfpack and are planning on moving the team. The initial plan is to move them to Bridgeport, where the Sound Tigers are, as the Islanders are thinking of moving them out to the renovated Nassau Coliseum. Whether or not that happens, if it doesn't happen, Binghamton would be a very viable choice, as we are close. The other one is actually the Devils. The New Jersey Devils are currently affiliated, as far as to in the AHL, with the Albany Devils, and they're through the 2018-2019 season. Now, distance-wise, it's about the same, maybe 10-20 minutes difference between Albany in New Jersey and Binghamton in New Jersey. So, if they want to move it closer, or if they assume that it's closer, maybe they're moving that team there. But in the end, nobody really knows. Again, this is all completely speculation, and it's all just reported. So that's kind of where that is. Personally, like I said, if we have a team here, we have a team here. We've dealt with the UHL. There's been some reports that even if we can't get an AHL team, we'd look at the ECHL. And I know that there may be a few teams down there that are available. I don't know. I'm looking into more reports on that. But hopefully we'll find out by the end of the season, maybe by mid-season. But right now, like I said, it's all speculation. And now a few other bits and pieces of news from the AHL. The Lake Erie Monsters are going to be keeping their coach at least through the 2018-2019 season, as the Columbus Blue Jackets have extended the contract out for Jared Bednar, this coming from club assistant general manager Bill Zito. In addition, the club has announced they hired on Blake Jeffrian as Monsters assistant general manager, and Steve McCarthy as assistant coach. Manny Legacy will return, though, as the club's goaltending coach. Now, Bednar has led the Monsters to a 15-2 record during the playoffs, and again to the club's first Calder Cup. The first for the Blue Jackets AHL affiliate as well. In 2016, he had a 43-22 6-5 record during the regular season. Was named the head coach of the Springfield Falcons in June 2014. He's led Columbus's AHL affiliates to an 81-50 14-7 mark in 2 seasons. That's .602 for you folks out there with the math. Guided the Falcons to a 38-28 8-2 record in 2014-2015 after spending 2 previous seasons as the club's assistant coach. Also in news, Arizona Coyotes president and CEO Anthony LeBlanc announced that the Coyotes have named Brian Sandy as president of the Tucson Roadrunners. He joins the organization from Learfield Sports, where he served as a general manager overseeing the corporate partnership efforts for Sacramento State's 21 NCAA sports programs. LeBlanc was reported as saying Brian's an experienced sales and marketing executive who has an exemplary track record of success in the sports industry. He's familiar with the Tucson market, has previous experience running professional hockey franchises, so he's a perfect fit. Prior to being with Sacramento State, Sandy actually served on the Portland Thunder, which is the Arena Football League team. He also directed all of the operations for that startup franchise. Previous to that, he was the president and alternate governor for the Stockton Thunder of the ECHL. While with both organizations, he oversaw all sales, client services, marketing, branding, essentially all of the office work, I guess the best way to put it. So congrats to him on that, and we hope to see some good things out of Tucson. Also coming out of the Bruins camp, Boston Bruins general manager Don Sweeney announced that the Bruins have named Kevin Dean the head coach of the Providence Bruins. Dean has actually been the assistant coach for 5 seasons, just completed his last one in 2015-2016. During his tenure as the assistant coach, teams compiled a 207, 128, and 45 overall record. That includes winning seasons all 5 years and postseason berths in each of the previous 4. Now, before that, he was actually in the New Jersey Devils organization as a coach for 5 seasons, 4 seasons of which were with the Lowell Devils in the AHL, and 1 season as the head coach of the Trenton Devils in the ECHL. So, a lot of good things that Kevin's done. He seems to be pretty well fit for that position, and we wish him the very best. And continuing on the coaching spree here, the Devils have announced today that they're going to renew their contract with Rich Kowalski with the Albany Devils for 2 more seasons. Kowalski is the reigning Louis A.R. Pierre Memorial Award winner as the AHL's most outstanding coach. During the 2015-2016 season, he actually helped the AHL Devils to their best record in franchise history, while managing, surprisingly enough, a roster that saw only 4 players skate for more than 50 games. Albany had a 46-28-2 record with a .671 point percentage and finished ranked 3rd in the AHL and 2nd in the Eastern Conference. They did advance to the division finals for the first time in franchise history, so a lot of good work from Kowalski and a lot of good things coming out of the organization for the Devils, so we're going to hope to see a lot more from him as well. And to end on a somber note, the AHL had lost a pioneer, and on July 24th, Jack Riley, who had served as president of the American Hockey League from 1964 to 1966, died Wednesday. He was 97. Riley had led the AHL for 2 years before becoming the first general manager of the Pittsburgh Penguins when that franchise entered the NHL. Before heading to the AHL, Riley was the GM for the Rochester Americans for 5 seasons, 1959 through 1964, and had served briefly as the head coach for the Amerks in the 60-61 season. He is a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins Hall of Fame. Riley had also played parts of 3 seasons in the AHL with the Philadelphia Ramblers, Hershey Bears, and the Washington Lions, and also coached the Lions from 47 to 48, so our sympathy goes out to the Riley family. And that's going to do it for the news today. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and listening to the news and updates that we have. If you do like what you see, definitely hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps me out immensely, guys. I've got links down below for my Twitch stream, as well as some of my friends who stream as well on YouTube. But again, guys, thank you very much. We're going to try to keep coming out with news at least once a week, and then when the season starts, oh man, is it going to get busy. But guys, thank you again so much, and I will see you all later. Peace.